of the negotiation of the EU-Kenya Economic Partnership Agreement. I recall when we last met in Brussels, and I came in March this year. We tasked the chief negotiators to expedite the outstanding aspects of the process with a view to reaching a conclusion before June this year. This is an agreement that has been outstanding for almost 8 years. And if we had left it the way it was, it would take another couple, maybe decades. But the record 7 months that this agreement has been brought to conclusion with the active, dedicated, committed support and working round the clock by Dora and Alfred deserves commendation. Congratulations. Tuwapigie makofi jameni. Thank you very much. When I had an engagement with the President of the EU Commission, I did commit that the government of Kenya will do its part to make sure that we conclude this agreement before June this year. And I want to thank the two chief negotiators for being good people at taking instructions. When I am therefore greatly pleased that this has been accomplished, and I want to thank the EU Director, Trade for Africa and Kenya's Principal Secretary and their technical teams. I know behind them have been many people who have put this agreement together. Today's milestone also represents a giant step forward for the East African community partners, because as my good friend has said, this agreement just sets the stage for finally bringing the East African community partner states into the agreement. And I have also issued instructions to Moses that, and I want to commit to our EU friends, that by you signing this agreement with Kenya, we also commit that we will work with our East African partner states, we will work with the 28 African states that are members of the tripartite free trade agreement, so that we can bring them on board this agreement subsequently. And hopefully we can also take this all the way to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, so that we can build a bigger market, build a bigger consensus, and be able to do more with the populations that exist between Europe and Africa. This achievement also represents a fundamental deliverable under the EU-Kenya strategic dialogue, our mechanism for advancing our common strategic interests in trade, investment, peace, and security in our region, and the transition to green energy and the digital economy. It signals our long-term commitment to ensure that farmers, including those in the flower, coffee, tea, fish, peas, and the edible fruits and nuts sector, are assured of a predictable market. Although the EU is already Kenya's largest export destination, accounting for 21% of Kenya's total exports, the agreement we have negotiated provides significant opportunities to enhance this performance. It assures a stable market for industrialists, for our farmers, and also industrialists in the European Union that deal in machinery and mechanical appliances, pharmaceutical products, chemicals, electrical machinery, beverages, and other processed products of an assured market in our country. Additionally, the agreement will grant Kenyan products immediate duty-free, quota-free entry into the EU from the day it comes into effect. And in recognition of our varied stage of progress along the development journey, products from the EU will progressively receive duty reductions over a period of 25 years. Beyond trade, the agreement is also designed to stimulate investment and manufacturing. Consequently, Kenya is prepared to strengthen its manufacturing sector in order to enhance our exports to EU globally. We are finally ready to take our place as a global player in export-led manufacturing and services. I encourage European companies that import goods from Kenya to invest in value addition here and export finished value-added products out of Kenya. And just to put this in context, we are looking at it both two ways, that we will enhance our exports because we now have an assured, predictable market, but also we are negotiating because Kenya is now working on our manufacturing capacity, that most of the products that we export today, including our tea, including our coffee, we have to take them now through the process of value addition, processing, and manufacturing so that we can export finished products, we can derive more value, and we can put more money in our farmers' pockets. In our budget this year, we have removed taxes on packaging material to facilitate export of finished products that are packed by Kenyan and European partners working together to export our products. It is our intention to reverse our manufacturing as a percentage of GDP that has been going down. We now need to take it to 15% in the next 5 years and hopefully 20% by 2030. That commitment will be backstopped by this agreement. It gives us greater emphasis and opportunity for us to be able to do that. Additionally, it will also give us the opportunity to enhance our exports. As has been said, we've had challenges with our exports as a percentage of GDP, and this opportunity also will give us the chance to be able to enhance that. Nafikiri nitasema kwa Kiswahili kidogo, tuelewe ya kwamba hii agreement ambayo tumekamilisha kwa miezi 7 ambayo imekuwa ikishughulikiwa kwa miaka 7 na ingeendelea vile ilikuwa inaendelea, ingechukua miaka zingine nyingi. Wakati nimeenda Brussels, tumekubaliana na president wa EU ya kwamba hii agreement imeshughulikiwa kwa muda mrefu, tukamilishe kabla ya tarehe 30 June mwaka huu, na nafurahi ya kwamba tumekamilisha in time. Na sasa mambo mawili yatafanyika. Ya kwanza, tutaongeza ile mazao yetu ya kilimo na products zingine ambazo tunapeleka katika EU market. Pale katika EU market ni watu karibu nusu bilioni ambayo sasa ni soko ya taifa letu la Kenya. Na ni nchi 27 ambayo hii agreement itakuwa imewekwa sahihi kati ya Kenya na nchi 27 za EU. Na nia yetu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunafungua soko kwa mazao yetu ya kilimo, kahawa, chai, mboga, maua na zile products zingine zote. Na vile vile tumeshakubaliana ya kwamba hatutakuwa tunauza mazao yetu bila ya kuongeza dhamana. Na ndio sababu vile vile tumesema sasa tutafanya partnership kati ya kampuni za Kenya na kampuni za EU ili tuweze kuwa na value addition, agro processing, manufacturing, ndio tuweze kuuza mazao yetu kwa bei ya sawa, tuweze kufanya ajira kwa vijana wetu kupitia hiyo mpango ya value addition, na vile vile wakulima wapate mazao zaidi. Na ni ya muhimu kwamba sekta ya kilimo ambayo ni sekta ya kwanza ambayo tumetambua kama manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza tuishughulikie kwa mpango huu. A further achievement of the negotiated agreement is that it anchors Kenya as a natural hub for European companies seeking markets in the EAC, COMESA, and SADC, and eventually to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. By locating your investment in Kenya, you will gain market access to the rest of the African continent. And I am pleased that we are doing this at a time when we are also advancing the implementation of the Global Gateway Africa Europe Investment Package, which was announced at the 6th EU-AU Summit in February. It will promote trade and investment accompanied by trade-related development cooperation, thereby further deepening the economic ties between EU, Kenya, boosting sustainable economic growth, and enabling us to create more jobs. It will also provide new opportunities for Kenyan and European businesses, including those in the micro, small, and medium enterprise space. Even though the negotiations are now concluded, it is important to note that the chief negotiators will now lead their teams in finalizing the text and proceed to initiate the procedures that culminate in ratification and eventually entry into force of the agreement. I call upon them to move with speed, the same speed. Maybe you can accelerate a bit so that this agreement can be implemented beginning next year. The EU-Kenya Economic Partnership Agreement also anchors a framework which enables us to direct our strategic focus towards tackling climate change and further commits the parties to take active measures to promote sustainable trade. I look forward to deepening the partnership between Kenya and the European Union in signaling to the world that trade and investment must not imperil the planet and can rather save it. The agreement will facilitate the achievement of Kenya's ambition to transition to the green economy, and we will deepen trade and trade-related policy measures that will create a supportive business ecosystem for Kenyan firms to participate in sustainable global value chains. In addition, Kenya now has further impetus to tap into sustainable global value chains, invest in competitiveness for sustainable manufacture of high-value products, accelerate technology acquisition as well as innovation for product development, widen opportunities available in green finance and investment, and strengthen our framework for export trade, including recalibrating our foreign trade and commercial service sector to align it with emerging export opportunities. Under our bottom-up agenda for economic transformation, we are committed to enhance our manufacturing share as a percentage of GDP and also lift our exports to GDP ratio. This is the purpose of our flagship, the county aggregation and industrial parks, to be established in our 47 counties. And already 14 of those county aggregation and industrial parks have already been advertised. The others are on the way. And added on to the ecosystem we want to build around consolidating our products around our county aggregation and industrial parks, we are also establishing at least a market in each of our 290 counties and establishing a market in each of our municipalities in the country. In essence, we have an ecosystem of an extra 400 markets around Kenya that will be used for the consolidation of our products so that traceability, so that value addition, agro-processing can be brought into that ecosystem. And I want to thank the EU for agreeing to partner with us in that space of ensuring that we have an ecosystem that will support our farmers to aggregate their products so that we can engage in value addition, we can do processing, and we can export our products processed and create jobs locally. To facilitate the uptake of opportunities made available under the new agreement, the government remains committed to continuous implementation of the business climate reform agenda and to sustain our position as a continental leader in institutional evolution. For instance, you are aware of the steps we have taken to automate 7,000 government services. I think 5,000 will be complete by the end of this month, to make it much more easier for citizens to access government services and for investors and entrepreneurs to do business with Kenya. I want to thank EU again for the partnership we have in this space of ensuring that technology is centralized in the delivery of our trade and our government services. I therefore wish to call upon you to work with us to sustain our partnership and collaborate in proactively translating the opportunities unlocked by this agreement into tangible outcomes that actualize sustainable development. As I conclude, I wish to reiterate our commitment as the Government of Kenya to continue collaborating with the EU and the private sector as we walk this journey towards building a stronger partnership. I look forward again to a conversation with the EU Parliament later this year on the big subject of what we can do together, sustainable agriculture, managing climate crisis that we have, and a candid discussion on a new partnership agreement around our international financing or financial architecture. We will be having that conversation later this week in Paris, and I look forward to an engagement in Brussels later this year. And I have already invited the EU Vice President to come for the Africa Climate Summit in September this year, so that we can consolidate our thoughts as a continent, share them with the rest of the globe as we go to the UN General Assembly and eventually to COP28. Thank you very much for coming for this great ceremony. Congratulations to all the good people, all the hard-working people that have put this agreement that is in many pages together, and for allowing us, those who did the least, to take the credit. So thank you very much, and my very best wishes.
Thank you, Excellency. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this session, and we'll allow His Excellency to retreat. Then the rest of us will kindly...
Jaza credit kwa mtandao wowote na Jazlink Telecom. Nunua credit ya talk time ama data kupitia Jazlink Telecom. Ingia, lipa na M-Pesa. Chagua paybill, business number 309028. Weka nambari ya simu kama account number. Kiwango cha pesa. Nambari yako ya siri ya M-Pesa. Bonyeza send. Jazlink Telecom. Jaza credit kwa mtandao wowote.
Asma se agiri yaşam sana.
Don't just take my life. Don't just break my heart. Don't just tear apart.
काम ढले तक चंगा था, शादी घर सत